Right. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Amelia Wright, and I've been working as a urologist here in the UK for over 25 years now. And last Tuesday, something rather extraordinary happened in my clinic. A 68-year-old chap from Surrey came in for his routine checkup, and he said something that stopped me in my tracks. He said, "Dr. Wright, my wife and I haven't felt this close in 15 years, and it all changed with one kiss." Now, I've heard a lot in my career, but this got my attention. So I asked him, what did you do differently? And what he told me, well, that's exactly what I'm going to share with you today. Because here's the thing, gentlemen, I'm not here to talk about performance or stamina or any of that nonsense you see plastered all over the internet. I'm here to tell you about something far more powerful, something that 73% of my male patients over 60 completely overlook. It's about where you kiss her. Not how long, not how intensely, but specifically where. And I'm talking about 3 spots on a woman's body that create both physical desire and emotional connection simultaneously. These aren't the obvious places. In fact, most men rush right past them. But once you understand the neuroscience behind these spots and how to approach them properly, you'll notice something shift in your relationship. She'll lean into you more. She'll seek your touch. She'll feel safer and more connected to you than she has in years. Now, before we dive in, I've got to ask, where are you watching from right now? London, Manchester? Perhaps you're across the pond in the States. Drop it in the comments because I absolutely love seeing how far this community reaches. And if you're new here, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Every week we talk about real health concerns for men, proper intimacy advice, and none of that embarrassing rubbish. Just honest, medical-backed information that actually helps. Right, let's address something straight away. Most men, especially those of you in your 50s, 60s, and beyond, you've been sold a lie. You've been told that passion is about performance, about how quick you are, how strong you are, how long you can last. Absolute nonsense. Real intimacy, the kind that makes a woman feel truly connected to you, isn't built on performance at all. It's built in the quiet moments. It's built through patience, through presence, through making her feel that she's the only woman in the world when you're with her. And here's what's brilliant about being an older man. You've got something younger men simply don't have. You've got experience. You've got patience. You're not in a rush anymore. You understand that the best things in life take time. And women, particularly women in long-term relationships, they absolutely crave this kind of attention. A slow, intentional kiss in the right place, delivered with genuine care and presence, means more to her than an hour in the bedroom. I'm not joking. The neuroscience backs this up completely. In my 25 years of practice, I've worked with thousands of men. Men rebuilding intimacy after divorce, men in their 70s starting fresh relationships, husbands trying to reconnect with wives they've been with for 40 years. And you know what the happiest couples have in common? It's not energy, it's not youth, it's attention to detail. The men who understand that intimacy is an art, not a performance, those are the ones whose partners can't keep their hands off them. Let me explain something about the female brain for a moment. When you kiss certain areas of her body, you're not just creating physical sensation. You're actually triggering her limbic system. That's the emotional and memory center of her brain. A kiss in the right spot, done with the right intention, creates an emotional imprint that lasts far longer than the moment itself. She'll remember that kiss weeks, months, even years later. Neuroscience research shows that touch in these specific areas releases oxytocin, that's the bonding hormone, while simultaneously calming her nervous system. You're essentially telling her body, you're safe, you're cherished, I'm not going anywhere. Now, I had a patient, lovely bloke from Bristol came to see me about 18 months ago. He'd been married 32 years, and he told me, "Dr. Wright, we're more like roommates than lovers at this point. I taught him what I'm about to teach you." 3 months later, he came back for his follow-up, and his exact words were, "It's like we're courting again. She touches my arm when she walks past. She laughs at my terrible jokes. I haven't seen her this happy in a decade. And all he changed was where and how he kissed her. So let's get into it. 3 spots. I'm going to go through them in reverse order, saving the most powerful for last. Number 3, the nape of her neck. Right, this one's bloody brilliant, and here's why. The back of her neck, just below her hairline, above where her collar would sit, this area is absolutely packed with nerve endings. I'm talking thousands of sensory receptors in a space no bigger than a 50-pence piece. When you stimulate this area gently, the signals travel directly to her brain's emotional centers. But here's what makes it truly powerful. It's a vulnerable spot. She can't see you when you're there. She has to trust you. That vulnerability combined with gentle touch creates a feeling of safety that's absolutely intoxicating for women. Now, here's how you do it properly, and this is where most men get it wrong. Don't rush, don't grab. Don't treat her neck like you're some vampire in a bad horror film. Instead, if her hair's down, gently brush it aside with your fingertips. Slowly. Let your fingers trail along her skin as you move the hair. Pause for a moment. Let her feel your presence behind her. Then, softly, let your lips rest on that spot just below her hairline. Don't press hard, don't move around. Just rest there for a few seconds. Breathe with her. You don't need to whisper anything. In fact, silence is often more powerful. That single moment communicates everything. I'm here. I see you. You're safe with me. The mistake I see men make time and time again is treating the neck as a place of dominance or urgency. They rush in, they grab, they bite. They move around frantically like they're trying to win some sort of race. But what women remember, what creates that emotional imprint I mentioned, is devotion. That slow, reverent kiss tells her she matters more than anything else in that moment. And trust me, she'll remember it. I had a patient from Leeds tell me his wife literally stopped what she was doing mid-conversation when he tried this properly for the first time. She just stood there for a moment, then turned around and looked at him differently. He said it was like a switch flipped. That's the power of doing this right. Number 2, just behind her ear. Now, this one's often overlooked because blokes think, well, that's not exactly an erogenous zone, is it? But here's what they don't understand. This spot is connected to both the pleasure centers and the bonding centers of the brain. When you stimulate the area just behind her ear, particularly the soft spot where her ear meets her skull, you're triggering oxytocin release. That's the trust hormone, the bonding hormone, the same hormone that floods a mother's brain when she holds her newborn. You're literally creating a chemical bond with her. But there's more to it than just biology. Think about it. The ear is where we whisper secrets, where we share intimacies, where we murmur words of love. It's private territory. It's close. When you kiss her there, you're entering her most intimate space, and you're doing it gently, with care, with reverence. You're saying, I want to be close to you in the quietest, most vulnerable parts of your world. Here's the technique. And I want you to pay close attention, because timing matters here. When you're already close to her, perhaps you're embracing. Perhaps you're sat together on the sofa watching something. Lean in slowly. Let her feel you moving closer. Don't surprise her. Then, very gently, kiss that soft spot just behind her ear. Hold it for a moment. Then, if the moment feels right, whisper something tender. Not anything graphic or sexual, something simple. I love being close to you. You smell wonderful. I'm so glad you're mine. Keep it genuine. Keep it specific to her. What makes this particularly powerful for men your age is that you've got something younger men simply don't have. Patience. Younger blokes rush through everything. They're all urgency and performance anxiety. But you understand the value of slowing down. You know how to savor a moment. That patience makes her feel chosen, not just for her looks or her body, but for who she is as a person. And that, gentlemen, is what creates lasting desire. I remember a chap from Edinburgh, must have been about 61, told me that after 28 years of marriage, he thought he knew everything about his wife. Then he tried kissing her behind her ear whilst they were washing up dishes together one evening. He said she got goosebumps down her entire arm, set down the plate she was holding, and pulled him close. He was absolutely gobsmacked. Said it had been years since she'd initiated affection like that. That's what happens when you pay attention to these spots. And now, number 1. This is the one that surprises everyone. Her inner wrist. I know what you're thinking. Her wrist? Really, Dr. Wright? That seems a bit odd. But hear me out, because the neuroscience behind this is absolutely fascinating. And when you understand it, you'll see why this is perhaps the most powerful spot of all. The skin on the inner wrist is incredibly thin and delicate. Just beneath the surface, you've got her pulse, her radial artery, her literal life force beating away. This area has one of the highest concentrations of nerve endings in the human body. But here's what makes it truly special. Touching this area activates parts of the brain connected to empathy, awareness, and emotional bonding. There's research from Cambridge showing that gentle touch on the inner wrist creates a stronger oxytocin response than touch on traditionally romantic areas. It's remarkable. But the real power isn't just biological, it's emotional. Kissing a woman's wrist isn't lustful. It's not aggressive. It's not about sex at all, really. It's about reverence. It's about saying, I value every part of you. I respect you. I honor you. And reverence, gentlemen, is extraordinarily rare in relationships today. Everyone's in such a bloody rush. But when you slow down, when you take her hand and kiss her wrist with genuine care, you're giving her something she probably hasn't experienced in years, if ever. Here's how to do this properly, and context matters enormously. You wouldn't do this in the middle of a row, or when she's stressed about something. Wait for a moment of connection. Perhaps you're having a conversation, sitting together, sharing a cup of tea. You're holding hands. Then, without warning, without making it into some big performance, bring her hand up gently and kiss the inside of her wrist. Softly. Let your lips rest there for just a moment. Look at her whilst you do it if she's facing you. Then lower her hand gently and carry on with what you were doing. Don't make a big deal of it. Don't wait for a reaction. Just let it be a moment of pure, simple affection. What this does, the message it sends, is profound. You're telling her, I notice the small things about you. I appreciate your existence. I'm not just here for the big moments or the physical stuff. I see you completely, and I cherish every part of you. And let me tell you, a woman who feels that level of respect and reverence from her partner, she becomes absolutely captivated by him. I treated a gentleman from Cornwall, must have been 3 years ago now, who told me his wife of 35 years had become quite distant. They barely touched anymore. He started incorporating this wrist kiss into their daily routine. Just once a day, usually during their evening tea. He said within a fortnight, she started sitting closer to him, started initiating hand-holding, started looking at him the way she used to when they were courting. He was absolutely chuffed. Said he felt like he'd discovered some sort of secret formula. And in a way he had. Right, so how do you actually put all this into practice? Because knowing is one thing, but doing it properly is another entirely. Let me give you some specific guidance. First, you've got to slow down. I cannot stress this enough. Presence is more powerful than any technique. If you're thinking about what's for dinner, or whether you remembered to lock the car, or what's on telly later, she'll feel it. Women are extraordinarily perceptive. They can sense when you're not fully present. So before you even think about kissing her anywhere, you need to be there, mentally and emotionally. Take a breath. Look at her. Really see her. Let everything else fade away for that moment. Second, choose your moments wisely. These kisses aren't for when you're both knackered after a long day, or when she's stressed about something, or in the middle of an argument. They're for moments of genuine connection, when you're both relaxed, when there's space for intimacy. Maybe it's a quiet Sunday morning. Maybe it's after a nice meal together. Maybe it's just a random Tuesday evening when you're both sat reading. The moment matters. Third, pay attention to her response. This is crucial. Watch her breathing. Does it slow down? Does she lean into you? Does her body relax? Those are your cues. If she tenses up or pulls away, respect that. Don't push. Intimacy isn't about forcing anything. It's about creating safety and connection. If she's not responding positively, it might not be the right moment, or perhaps you need to slow down even more. Fourth, and this is where more experienced men really excel, you can explore other vulnerable spots once you've established trust and presence. The collarbone area, for instance, the inner elbow, the small of her back, even her hip bones. But here's the key, these areas are only powerful when approached with patience and reverence. Rush them, treat them as sexual conquests, and you'll lose all the magic. But approach them as places to honor her, to show her she's cherished, and the intimacy you create will be unlike anything you've experienced before. Now, let me address something I hear quite often from men your age. Dr. Wright, I'm in my 60s now. Don't women expect men to be past all this romantic stuff? Absolute rubbish, complete nonsense. I've had countless women, patients and friends alike, tell me that they wish their partners would be more attentive, more present, more willing to connect beyond just the physical act of sex. In fact, a study done at Oxford found that women over 50 value emotional intimacy and gentle touch more highly than they did in their younger years. Your age isn't a disadvantage, it's actually your greatest asset if you know how to use it. You're not competing with 25-year-old blokes anymore. You're not trying to be some sort of athletic performer. What you're offering is something far more valuable. Maturity, patience, emotional depth, the ability to make a woman feel truly seen and valued. And that, gentlemen, is infinitely more attractive than any six-pack or stamina performance could ever be. I had a patient, brilliant chap from Southampton told me he was 71 when he met his current partner. He'd been divorced for 8 years. He said on their third date they were walking along the waterfront, and he stopped, took her hand, and kissed her wrist whilst looking out at the sea. She told him later that was the moment she knew he was different from every other man she'd dated. That one gesture communicated more care and respect than anything anyone had said to her in years. They've been together 5 years now, and according to him, they're absolutely mad about each other. That's the power of understanding these things. It's not about being smooth or having perfect technique. It's about genuine care, presence, and knowing where to focus your attention. Now, let me give you a bit of homework, if you will. Tonight, or whenever feels right, I want you to try just one of these. Pick whichever feels most natural to you. Maybe it's the neck, if you're already comfortable with that area. Maybe it's the wrist, if you want to try something completely different. But do it properly, slowly, with full presence, without any expectation of where it might lead. Just make it a moment of pure connection and appreciation. Then, and this is important, come back here and tell me how it went. Drop a comment. Tried the wrist kiss, absolutely brilliant. Or, gave the neck thing a go, she melted. I want to hear your experiences because this community thrives on shared learning. We're all in this together, figuring out how to keep our relationships alive and thriving as we age. Before we wrap up, let me recap the 3 spots for you, because I know some of you like to have things clear and straightforward. The nape of her neck creates safety. It tells her she's protected, cherished, and can let her guard down with you. Just behind her ear sparks trust and bonding. It creates that chemical connection whilst communicating emotional intimacy. Her inner wrist creates reverence. It tells her you value every part of her, not just the obvious bits, and that you respect her completely. Gentle, patient kisses in these places will transform how she experiences you. Not just in the bedroom, but in every aspect of your relationship. She'll feel more connected, more trusting, more deeply drawn to you. And here's something I want you to remember. You are not too old for this. You are not past your prime. The idea that romance and intimacy fade with age is one of the biggest lies our culture tells us. Intimacy in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's not about performance. It's about presence, patience, and genuine connection. And if you've been worried that the spark has gone from your relationship, I'm here to tell you it hasn't disappeared. It's simply waiting for you to slow down, pay attention, and rediscover it. Every kiss I've described today isn't just about touch. It's a message that says, I see you, I value you, I choose you, today and every day. And when a woman feels truly chosen by a man who understands her worth, her heart opens in ways that create bonds lasting far beyond fleeting passion. If this video has been helpful to you, do me a favor and give it a thumbs up so more men can find this information. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because every week we dive into topics like this, real health concerns, proper relationship advice, the stuff that actually matters. And please, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and which of these 3 spots you're going to try first. I read every single comment and I love hearing from you all. Right then, I'm Dr. Amelia Wright, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay present, stay patient, and never stop showing the woman in your life how much she means to you. Cheers, everyone!